Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Bierchen Show. I am play-by-play voice Kendall Grayson, joined as always by head coach John Bierchen. Coach, last week Alabama did not play two games against Oklahoma due to the winter weather here in the Pelham-Birmingham area. Could you talk a little bit about what went into the process of canceling those two games against Oklahoma?
Well, as the weather started to move in, Thursday night, and you kind of start to see the weather reports. Oklahoma gave us a call, and we just kind of talked about it as both programs. And at the end of the day, for the safety of both the fans, the players, the alumni, and everybody that supports both the programs, that it was just best to not play the games just because of the travel situations for both Oklahoma and then people coming to the game. So, it's unfortunate that we aren't able to make those up this year, but, we will be seeing Oklahoma come back to us next fall.
And Oklahoma and Alabama played two very good games earlier this season back in the fall semester, and an opponent they played also two very good games with and split with one win and one loss, the Liberty Flames, and that's the opponent here this weekend at the Pelham Civic Complex. Coach, if you look back to the last series against Liberty, and Alabama split 1-1. There was the Midnight Madness game on Friday night, about 4,000 people in attendance. Alabama was able to get that victory, and it was one of the more, well-played games of the season. The crowd was into it. Alabama thrived off of that. And then they lost the game on Saturday. So again, 1-1 right now with the Liberty Flames with two more games at hand. This time they'll be at the Pelham Civic Complex. So looking forward into this weekend's matchup, how do you think your team will fare against Liberty?
Well, if you look, those games against Liberty were kind of early in the season, so we're looking to be a lot more consistent in this coming weekend's games as opposed to those weekends. Set of games. So, we were still it was an early season, so we were still kind of trying to get our identity as a team. So, I think everybody's a lot more on the same page with what we're trying to execute and accomplish in every different situation, in every zone. So, I look forward to everybody executing with a lot more consistency and, the pace of play being a lot higher and all that going into this weekend set of games.
Last week, Alabama held an open practice for the fans in Huntsville, Alabama at the Von Braun Center. Coach, the Huntsville Havoc head coach Glenn DeTullio led that practice, and that's been a theme this year for Alabama, practicing in those professional environments. So specifically looking back to the time in Huntsville last week, what was your team able to take away from that experience?
Well, we really appreciate Glenn, kind of bringing us up there and allowing us to do that. Glenn's been a really good friend, obviously having competed against him the last 3 years, with the Columbus Cottonmouths. But, as we try to continue to get the guys in as many professional atmospheres as possible and continue to kind of build that professional culture, like you say, it was, I think, a really good experience for, everybody in our organization, both, the players and then also the staff members, kind of go up there and see how, the Huntsville Havoc do it. Obviously, we've, been in Rockford and Erie and Columbus back over Thanksgiving break. So, it's just another great opportunity for our guys to kind of see how it's done at the higher levels. And, hopefully they took a lot of good things away. So I know I took some good things away. It's always good to see somebody else run a practice and steal some more drills. So, again, we really appreciate what Glenn and Jesse Kolecki, the assistant coach, who I coached against as a player, and then, now he's an assistant coach there, and everybody with the Huntsville Havoc organization. So we really appreciate them allowing us to come up there and participate in that.
Well, Coach, as we start 2017, the spring semester, Alabama has two new additions to the program, number 19, Felix Conrads, and number 27, Shane Welsh. If you could just briefly talk about what they bring to your lineup.
Well, Shane's coming to us from Daniel Webster, so, the same place that Jeremy Hanna and Chris Geets came from. So, we're really looking forward to, having his grit. So, he's got enough skill to be able to, play our style of play. But, he's bringing a little bit more grit. He's a strong kid. So we're looking forward to him, being able to go into corners and take some of the physical pounding off of some of the other guys in our team. And then Felix comes in with, some more size as well, and that's something that we're looking to do as a team is get a little bit physically bigger stature-wise. So, and again, Felix kind of fits that same mold where he's got the speed and the skill to be able to keep up with the style of play that we're looking to have. So, we're looking forward to having both of their, physical presence on the team along with their speed and skill.
Last time Alabama was on the ice was back in December against Iowa State. So it's been over a month since Alabama's hit the ice. And Coach, what are some challenges? It's a bit of a change of pace as you really start the second half of the season. In the fall semester, it seems like they're on the ice every week and working towards something. And then you have about a month where everyone usually goes home for the holidays. So Alabama's getting ready to pick things back up and go into the second semester schedule. So what are some challenges that present themselves having a month's layoff like this?
Well, I think it's always good for everybody to be able to go home and recharge. So we had a long first semester with a lot of road trips and a lot of practices and stuff that we covered a lot of things. So I think it was really good that they were able to get home and kind of just refresh a little bit. But coming in, we had practice last week. Now we didn't get to play this past weekend, but it's really just kind of getting back into that game mentality. So the speed of a game is always different than practice, no matter how intense practice is. There's nothing like playing games. So hopefully, we're as mentally and physically prepared as we are, or we can be, for Friday's game, and hopefully that rust gets knocked off pretty quickly.
For the first time in program history, Alabama hosts a top 25 ACHA Division I program in the Liberty Flames here at the Pelham Civic Complex Friday night at 9:30 Central Time and Saturday at 10. We hope to see you there. For John Bierchen, I am Kendall Grayson. Thanks for watching this week's edition of The John Bierchen Show.